Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, and we are moving on to a new position to look at in the upcoming 2023 NFL Draft today. We are going to be doing running back now, and we've gotten clear of the positions where we're really in trouble, I think. We've gotten clear of the positions where it's kind of a disaster zone right now, in my estimation. And in fairness, I don't know if linebacker's a disaster zone anymore now that Bobby's back, but now we're going to take a look at some positions where clear help is needed, but we don't necessarily need to make a massive investment in it. We're okay in terms of like the top of the depth chart. We have enough to get us by, but we're not very well protected against injuries, and we just don't have championship level depth. So today's going to be running back, and I think it's pretty clear the issue here, right? You've got K9, and K9, look, he's a starting caliber running back in this league. He had a good year last year, has a good chance of getting better. He's got phenomenal physical traits. This is not just somebody who gets by with effort only. This is a guy who combines tremendous speed with great open field ability, great ability to cut and make people miss, good vision. He's got a lot of positive traits about him. And look, DJ Dallas, give credit where credit's due. DJ Dallas, good running back. Good backup running back. He can do stuff on third down. He's a good pass protector most of the time. He's a good pass catcher. He's a little bit of a bowling ball sometimes, even, you could call him. But it's not enough. It's not enough. We need two more running backs, the way I see it, because Thompson should be a practice squatter. Thompson has no business being on a 53-man roster as a running back at this stage. And some people are going to say Godwin Icky could be a running back. I'm not so convinced of that. Maybe he could be your fourth running back if you really like your top three. But in my estimation, as of right now, I'm looking at this like we need two more running backs. And the good news is this is a pretty good draft for running backs. So you should be able to double dip if you need to. But we need help. We need two guys, and I think we need two guys who can at least play some. We don't need two guys who are beasts. We don't need two guys who are starters. But we need two guys. One of them could be a starting caliber running back for sure, but at the very least, we need to add a couple guys to this stable. So today, we're going to talk about the two running backs who I think are going to go in the first round of the draft. One of them is pretty much guaranteed to. The other, he has a chance. So this video is going to be about those two guys. That's going to be your day one running backs. And then tomorrow we move on to later phases. Okay. So the first guy we're going to take a look at here is Bijan Robinson, the universal, undisputed, no doubt about it, number one running back in this class. Texas Longhorn, 21 years old. He is special. And when I say special, I mean I think he's the best running back prospect in a decade. I think he's the best running back draft prospect in about a decade here. And normally, I would push back heavily on the idea of drafting a running back anywhere in the top 25. This is a guy I would at least consider doing it for. Had a good combine, not a great combine, but it was good enough to complement the fact that he was incredibly productive at Texas. 5'11", 215 pounds, a little bit smaller than some people expected. Ran a 4.46 640, which is good enough. Had a really good burst, 1.52 10-yard split. 37-inch vertical, very nice. 10-foot 4-inch broad for a running back that's going to work no problem. Every big board has him in the first round. The only big board that doesn't have him in the top half of the first round is PFF. They have him 27. I think they're kind of missing out here. 4 of the big boards had him top 10, including the Draft Network having him number 2 and Sports Illustrated having him number 4. The aggregate website has him at number 12, and I do think he's going to go in about that range of the draft. So he's not good enough to go at our number 5 pick, and he's too good to go at our number 20 pick. So odds are good that we would just miss the boat on Bijan regardless. But we need to talk about this guy because there is a scenario here where he comes up in conversations surrounding the Seahawks. So 2022 was his best year by far. He gave you about 1,600 rushing yards on 6 yards a carry. He was a bell cow. He averaged over 20 rushing attempts a game for Texas, 18 touchdowns in 12 games. And he gave you 19 catches for 314 yards. So he showed it all. He did it all. In the previous year, not as much volume. He only played in 10 games, averaged about 19 and a half carries a game. but he was still giving you that almost 6 yards per carry average, 11 touchdowns, 26 catches for about 300 yards. So the dude produced over these last 2 years like crazy, and he deserves his spot as the clear number one running back in this class. And again, in my estimation, he's the best running back prospect we've had since... I mean, honestly, I think he's better than Trent Richardson, even as a prospect. I'm talking about the prospect, by the way, not the eventual pro product. Last time we had a running back this interesting, this good in the draft, I don't even know, man. Like, people are comparing him to LaDainian Tomlinson with good reason. Like, that comparison holds water. And when you watch him play, when you look at the things that people have to say about him, you put all this together, you get a really special running back. And where does it all start? It starts with his phenomenal vision. He's a guy who will get the ball. He'll be stretching out to the left on an outside zone run or stretching out to the right, wherever. He'll be looking. He'll see the hole develop, and then he's through the hole. He's just through the hole like that. So he sees the play developing, knows where the hole's going to be, knows where his blockers are going to be, knows where the defense is going to be, thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead, LeBron James style, and he's through that hole. Very hard to get a clean hit on him because of how elusive he is, how good his lateral agility is. Very hard to get a good hit on him. And when you do, he's got incredible contact balance. He shrugs off contact like nothing and stays up and continues to get positive yards. So, like I said, he's kind of the full picture here. He can outrun defenders, no problem. He's got good speed. He's one of those guys, you watch him run and it doesn't look like he's going that fast, and then you realize he's running by everybody. He's can run through defenders, especially at the third level. If a defensive back tries to tackle him, he can just put his shoulder down and run through him. He's got a little bit of power in that regard. He's got great cutting skills. He's got a nasty jump cut. He's an excellent pass protector. He's great at picking up blitzes. He's great at understanding where he needs to be in terms of being a blitz picker-upper. He's also a great pass catcher. He can line up as a receiver. He showed the ability to be a really good pass catcher, running all different kinds of routes out of the backfield for Texas over these last couple years. So, ton of positives with Bijan for sure. The issues with Bijan, and this is the thing that kind of concerns me, short yardage, running between the tackles when he just needs to get down low, push forward for the 2 or 3 yard pickup, and move on to the next snap. Sometimes he's like, I got to get this big play. Where can I go to get the 40-yard play? When in reality, sometimes you just need to pick up the 3 yards, get the first down, keep the drive alive. And that's kind of what we have with K9 right now, right? That's the issue with K9. Not great in short yardage. Not great on runs up the gut. Bijan, I think he's at his best when you give him the ball on those stretch runs that allow him to use his vision. I think his best trait is probably his vision. You need to get him into space. So, not great in short yardage. Sometimes he's a little indecisive. At the NFL level, he will probably need to be more decisive than he is right now. And he's had a couple of little injury concerns. Nothing huge at Texas. He's dinged up a couple of missed games due to injury over the last 3 years. So, Bijan is too good for me to ignore, even though I think the skill set is a little redundant with what we already have, and the position has been devalued. So, I'm going to say this. There's no way I'm on board with taking Bijan at number 5. You can't make me ever be on board with taking pretty much any running back at 5. It's not going to happen. But if he's there at 20, and I don't think he will be, I cannot ignore the value, and I would take him. Okay, so that's my Bijan take. Really, really special. The next guy we're going to look at, this is the only other running back who I think has a chance of going in the first. It's Jahmyr Gibbs of Alabama. Young guy, 21 years old, played for, I think it was Georgia Tech for a couple years, transferred to Alabama last year, and slid right in. Smaller guy, 5'9", 199 pounds, short arms, small hands. He had a great 40, 4.36, showed his top-end speed. Good burst as well, 1.52 10-yard shuttle. The big boards, every big board has him in the second, except for CBS, which has him in the mid-first, and the Draft Network, which has him in the mid-first. The aggregate says he's going to be a very early second-round pick, but he had a good combine, so I actually think he's going to edge into the very bottom of round number 1. I think he will be a first-round pick, barely, but it's going to be a very thin margin. So, last 2 years, he's played in 12 games apiece, had limited carries, actually, only less than 300 carries over the last 2 years. So he's been, you could almost say, like preserved a little bit from the truly harsh contact. 926 rushing yards last year, 746 the year before, 11 total touchdowns on the ground. So that's not immense. But then you see what he's doing as a receiver. Over the last 2 years, in 24 games, he's got almost 80 catches and about 900 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. So this guy is making up for his deficiency as a runner with his incredible abilities as a receiver. He is producing like crazy as a receiver. And that's what makes Jahmyr Gibbs interesting probably more than anything else. He's got blazing fast speed for sure. He's fast. He's very shifty in the open field. He's very good at doing these double moves, these fake moves to get defenders leaning one way and then going another. At the end of the day, the main appeal of Jahmyr Gibbs is that he is a really, really good pass catcher out of the backfield. Great route runner, great hands. He can line up at wide receiver too. He is giving you A-plus level ability as a pass catcher out of the backfield. And this is somebody who is not, he's not Darren Sproles. He's not somebody who you can't give the ball to as a traditional running back. No, he can do that stuff too. But he's an incredible pass catcher out of the backfield. And that is the main draw of Jahmyr Gibbs, I think. That's the main reason why, even as a Seahawks fan, I'm looking at this guy and at least thinking about it. He's really good at finding the hole amid traffic. He's got great running back vision, same as Bijan. He's got a very nasty jump cut. I saw it many, many times on the tape. He's just giving you a lot of playmaking. He's giving you a lot of sizzle. He's giving you a lot of top-end things that you want your superstar running back to give you. He's creating big yards out of no yards. So the issues with Gibbs are pretty obvious. He's small. He will probably have a difficult time being a 300 carry a season guy. You don't want to be giving this guy the ball a ton over the course of a season. Which, hey, that works out okay for us. We've got K9, and obviously Gibbs and K9 would be splitting carries. But if you're bringing in Gibbs to be your lead back, your bell cow back, he's probably going to break before the end of the season. As of right now, not a very good pass protector, partially because he is small, and that's not something he'll necessarily be great at overcoming. So that's going to be a concern if you're going to have him be an every down back. And he's got issues on the inside power runs. He's not great at being decisive and just putting his shoulder down and getting the couple of yards. He's not great at making sure he picks up that 3 yards for the first down. And he's not on those runs, which unfortunately I have to go back to it. That's the problem with K9 right now, right? That's the issue with K9. Everything with him is great. It's just the short yardage. Can he put his foot down and go get that 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 2nd and 2, 4th and 1? It's not the best part of his game to just go off off guard or up the gut, A gap, B gap, and get that first down. And Gibbs kind of has that problem too. So it's not a great fit. So Gibbs, clearly a first-round talent. Definitely a first-round talent for sure. But I think he's a little redundant with what we already have. We don't need another guy who is really, really good but can't get short yardage. Honestly, to me, Jahmyr Gibbs and Ken Walker are very similar players, except Gibbs is a much better pass catcher. And I don't think being a better pass catcher is enough to make me like Gibbs more, because Gibbs is also much smaller and probably can't handle the workload that Walker can. So there's definitely a really good player here with Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't doubt it. I think he's going to be gone in the first round. I wouldn't take him in the first round, honestly, because it's redundant. I don't know if I would even take him in the early second. If he were to make a shocking slip to the mid-late second, our second round pick, yeah, okay, then the value is so good I can't pass it up. But unless that happens, and I don't think that's going to happen, I just feel like there's a easier, cheaper, and better way to address this particular need. So, to me, Jahmyr Gibbs, love you. If we didn't have K9, if we were in a different situation, I would definitely consider it. But to me, I look at Jahmyr Gibbs and I go, I'm good with what I have for the most part, unless there's a massive opportunity to get tremendous value there. All right. See you guys later. Tomorrow we're going to have more videos about other running backs in the later rounds. Go Hawks. See you guys later.